back to my channel. I feel like you need to make this camera a little bit lower. Okay. I was like this before and now I'm like this. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah and I've had type 1 diabetes for over 20 years, a very long time. And this channel is just about my life with diabetes. Except today I'm not making a diabetes video. I am making a Arizona 1 year later video because 1 year ago, I freaking moved across the country to Arizona. And I still can't believe I did that. And I mean, obviously it's gonna take time, even still 1 year later, but I'm like, wow, I do not live where I lived before. That doesn't make any sense. So if you don't know, a year ago, I moved from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, all the way to Scottsdale, Arizona, just to give myself a little change and just to go out and adventure. And I will say 1 year later, I'm very glad that I made the move. And I realized when I film a video here, as I always like look outside, so I'm really gonna try and like focus forward. But yes, a year ago, I moved from PA, Amish country, interesting spot, to Scottsdale, Arizona, which one interesting spot to another. Complete opposites. It's been very interesting. So I asked myself like 6 questions on my handy dandy iPad here, and I thought I would answer them here and kind of reflect on my year here, my last year here. That rhymes. Also, I was gonna do a cool like montage of like all my videos of the last year, but that just ended up being like a lot of work and I didn't have a lot of time, so I was like, whatever. We'll just go with a Q&A done by myself. And also, look at this light. I look like a ghoul. Okay, so my first question to answer is, what is my favorite part of living in Arizona? There's a lot of things that are my favorites. There's not a lot of things that are my not favorites, except for snakes being here. I've only seen 1 snake in the whole time that I've been here. And it wasn't even a confirmed snake. But one of my favorite parts of living here is the new friends I've made. I have 2 like super good close friends. One of them who has type 1 diabetes, who I love, and it's just like they're so fun to hang out with. 2, I used to live close to family, so like no one really visited me because like why would you when you live like not that far? But people come and visit me now, and it's like I feel like the quality time I spend with people when they visit is better than when I lived like not that far, because I was like, oh, I could just like drive and see you. But now it's like, oh, this is like really special time that we're having together, so use it and don't waste it because you live across the country now. Obviously, the weather is a huge plus. This morning, even though I was getting bit by mosquitoes, I was working outside and it was like super great, super comfortable. It was like 70 degrees. And it's just like, I'm just looking outside now and it's like blue skies. It's just like the weather is really freaking great. It was hot over the summer, but I will also say the summer wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I feel like I got off pretty easy. It like wasn't as hot. It was very stormy, which I loved. That's a whole other thing, is I love the monsoons here. They're insane, and like my view is really great, so I could see all the lightning. It's amazing. But the summer, I think the hottest it got was like 114. And it's a dry heat. It's a little humid, but it's really not that bad. And when I first moved here, everyone was like, I mean, all you do is like either stay inside or go to the pool. You're not like outside. And that was true. So the weather's been great. My next question is, have I acclimated to the hot temperatures yet? And I still say to people that I haven't lost my East Coast layer of fat, because like obviously it's like gets to be winter back east, which is like part of the reason why I moved, is because I don't do well in the winter. I become like a recluse, a hermit. I don't become a spider. I become a hermit, and just like, ugh, I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. I'm so unmotivated. So I was like, let me move to the hottest place ever in Arizona. But I would say, yes, I've acclimated to the weather. My mom was here about a month ago. You saw her in one of my videos. And she kept saying like, oh, it's really hot here. And I was like, oh, it actually feels like really nice out compared to like how it felt in the summer. And that's when I was like, oh, I must have acclimated more than I realized. And also I was standing outside in a sweatshirt last night because I was a little cold and it was like 83 degrees outside. So to say I'm acclimated would probably be correct. And that's only after 1 year of living here. So like who knows what'll happen after like 2 or, I mean, who knows how long I'll even live here, but who knows what'll happen after more years of living here. My third question is, where do you see yourself in the next year? So I feel like I've gone on a lot of adventures this year. We drove to Vegas, which was super fun. I'm really glad I did that, like ultimate desert experience. So I really just see myself like going on more adventures, hanging out with friends, discovering, there's like endless stuff to discover here, like restaurants, bars, things to just like do. It really is like, it never stops. There's always something new to do. So I just want to keep adventuring and making myself, you know, feel more at home. I feel way more at home obviously now than I did when I moved here. And actually one of the interesting things when I really felt at home was when I had COVID, is I felt like, oh, I went through something like out here and I could do it on my own without my family or anyone like helping me. So I was like, oh, having COVID made this feel more homey. I don't know. It's such a weird thing to say. But yeah, basically going on more adventures and placing more roots here. I'd like to make more friends, which I'm doing slowly but surely. Okay, my fourth question is, what's a new habit that I've formed since living here? Something that has surprised me that I've done more now than I think I've ever done in my life is get my car washed, which is so random. But when I wrote that question, I was like, what is that? Like, what have I done more now, a new habit? And I was like, get my freaking car washed, because you know what? It's so dusty here that like the other night I parked my car. It was a beautiful night. No storms happened, no wind even happened, and somehow my car was covered in dust the following day. And I have a dark colored car, so the dust shows up very quickly and it's like, ugh, I gotta go get my car washed again. So I get my car washed way more frequently now than I did before, especially because it also rained on the East Coast, so it's like I always got kind of a car wash, but I never intentionally really took my car to the car wash as much as I do now. So that's one new habit that I formed that was super random. Also hiking. I know when I moved here, and I've said this 100 times in videos, is I'm never hiking in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. And then I started hiking and I really love it. And it's getting cool enough out now that I can start hiking again. I don't think I've hiked since like April, since spring last year, because it's been way too hot. But now that it's cooling off and it's officially fall, I feel like I could like, it's officially fall, I feel like I could hike again. But I did hear that it's like rattlesnake season, so also I'm like, good, you know, I don't want to mess around with the nature and the snakes, but ooh, honestly, I would think I might die if I saw a snake. Not really, but I think I would actually have a panic attack, and I don't think I've ever had a panic attack before, but it's like, I have like a visceral reaction when I see snakes. I should probably do some type of like, I should like go touch a snake, although I've tried that before and that did not help, but woo. Anyway, moving on to other topics. My next question, I have 2 more questions, is what is one thing you miss about the East Coast? Another super random thing, but I find myself talking about this a lot, is I miss a good East Coast sub. Like, I once asked someone, is there like a good sub place here? And they said Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's. And I was like, ugh, I want like a good like mom and pop shop sub. Like, I feel like there's so many of those on the East Coast, especially like in Philly and like all those areas. But I was like, I just want like a good sub, you know, like a hoagie or a hero. We called it hoagies in like elementary school. Obviously I miss my friends and my family too. That is a given, but I really miss a good sub place. Oh, now I really want a sub for lunch. Maybe I should make a sandwich. I don't have anything to make sandwiches. It won't be the same. When I go home in a couple of weeks, because I'm going home for my dad's birthday, I'm gonna try and get a good East Coast sub. That's not Subway or Jersey Mike's or what's the third one? I can't think of it. I know I just said it in this video. But not the chain sub restaurants. Okay, my last question My last question is, what is one thing that I am surprised at with living here? I kind of already said this, but I am surprised how much I like hiking. Obviously, I am an extreme amateur hiker, and all I do is like basically go on long walks that are not like, I don't go camping. Although I do kind of want to try camping, but I'm not a camper. I'm not an extreme hiker where it's like uphill the whole time. I hate that. I like to enjoy myself and not be like out of breath the entire time. So, definitely hiking is something that I have enjoyed since living here. And I also, this is another thing that surprised me, is that I bought a paddleboard and a kayak. I never thought I would move to the desert and buy like water activity things, but there's lakes around here. I know I've brought you guys with me when I've kayaked and paddleboarded before, but it still just like shocks me that it just seems like such a contradiction to move to the desert and buy a paddleboard and a kayak, because one would think like, where would you even use that? But really, there's tons of places to use it. It's kind of crazy. And I often think like, if I had this back when I lived in Pennsylvania, would I like use it? And I don't know that I would. One, I didn't have the closet space for it, so it would have been not feasible, but I don't know where I would have even taken it. I guess there's a lot of lakes, but there's a lot of like rivers and streams. I wouldn't take my kayak down a stream, but like a river where you get in at one point and get out at another. Anyway, that's another thing that has totally shocked me, is that I bought a freaking kayak and a paddleboard. I love both of those things, and it's finally getting the weather again when I can use them. I keep saying that because I'm obviously so excited about it, but that's that. Those are my 6 quick questions that I asked myself to reflect on when I realized I lived here for a year. It's so funny, last Friday as I was like, this is my 1-year anniversary of like actually arriving in Arizona. And I've lived here 1 year. I'm not sure how long I'll stay. And part of me just wants to say that because like, you never know what'll happen in life. Someone very close to me told me, if there's one thing in life we're guaranteed, it's surprises. So like, I could stay here the rest of my life. I could like go somewhere else, but for now I am totally enjoying it. Really glad I made the move. It was really good for my like personal growth, and my just was really good for my personal growth. I guess that's kind of it. I don't know. But anyway, that's it for this video. I would keep talking, but this battery is gonna run out, and it's already been like over 10 minutes. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I upload every Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific, which that'll be mountain time soon. 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, although I guess the daylight savings here confuses me. I guess none of that matters. Just don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!